Self-acceptance. An individual's acceptance of all of their attributes, positive or negative. When we are self-accepting, we embrace every part of ourselves. Not just the positive things. Self-acceptance is unconditional. You can recognize weaknesses, but still fully accept yourself. All right. Welcome back to your Daily Dose. I'm your host, Alize, and this is the Daily Dose, where you already know we be doing the most. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit the bell so you can hear the notifications go off. And also, you can follow me at Zelumthegreat. Well, you can follow me on TikTok. I'm not social media like savvy like that. Like I'm very old school, okay? I'm not into all that technology stuff. I have an old spirit. Anyway, you can follow me on TikTok at Zelumthegreat. You can also follow my Instagram at alize.mills1. Okay, you can go ahead and I posted 2 videos of me talking about self-acceptance. And the reason I wanted to talk about that was because I posted a snippet of what I was talking about on my TikTok and on my YouTube. So you guys can go and look at that. You could also, I did share a reel on Instagram. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Also, if you have any personal questions or comments, you can email me and we can actually have a conversation, or you guys can just DM me on my Instagram. Okay. Also, if you didn't get any of that, it will be in the link of the description below. So I do want to start this off before I even get into self-acceptance and why it's very important when you're manifesting the desired outcomes that you want in your life. I do want to read you guys this. Okay. Today I woke up and felt a need to work out. I worked out yesterday, so I don't know why I put that. And then do some more inner child healing. I felt more close to myself, and every time those limiting beliefs come to the surface, I am now able to recognize them and become more aware of them without judgment. I am realizing happiness, joy, and love comes from within. Trusting, allowing, and acceptance. Yes, I have been through things where I have been hurt, but forgiveness, allowing, trust, and letting go is key. Holding on to pain, resentment, and anger only causing more frustration and more doubt and fear. Taking this time to heal and recognize that these emotions aren't negative, but more of trauma from childhood. And I shouldn't judge myself, but accept myself and who I am. And to have patience to work through this. I am love. I am believing more and more. It's easier to let go. Now, I have been working this entire week. I had told you guys about the situation of what occurred and what happened. My whole life changed that night. My whole life changed that night because I had realized that I have been codependent, and I have realized that I have had a shitty self-concept about who I am as a woman. And for so long in my life, I have seen these repeated patterns. And that night gave me clarification. It gave me a clear understanding of what I needed to do. It helped me to realize that, like I said, I talked to my friend yesterday, one of my friends, but lately I have not been in this moment to really, look, let me tell you guys something. When I would get bored or when I would do something, I would always feel the need to call my friends or, call them or see, what they were doing, and they wouldn't answer. They would always be busy or they'd always be doing something. And, I would just get bored. And when sometimes I would, when I would come from work, I'd sleep and stuff, etc. But I realized that I would always be looking so much in the outside for people's love and acceptance and affection to feel good. And ever since I stopped being so much on my phone with, trying to call my friends or waiting for someone to call me to have a conversation, I realized that I can have that love and that happiness, that it's within me. I don't need it from somewhere else. I feel good being by myself. I feel good being alone. I am accepting that. I am accepting that there is parts of me that I do not like, that I'm still working on, with me being sensitive, me being very, I don't like confrontation, or I'm not really good with expressing myself, pre-assumptions. those type of things, and also with being more honest with people and being honest with myself rather than lying to myself. There are things that I do not like, but I'm choosing to accept those things about myself and choosing to embrace those things. And there are weaknesses where I'm easily fooled or where I could believe a person without actually seeing that there are signs that an individual may be trying to manipulate me, and I'm so quick to give in because, or I allow people to mistreat me and, things like that. And these are things that I'm putting into action. That's why I am in therapy, but I'm doing the work, because therapy will not work if you don't tell the truth, and therapy will not work if you don't put in the work, period. So I've been in this battle with myself for such a long time, of battling myself and fighting myself, when really I should be at, I should be at war with the world instead of being at war with myself. I'd rather be at peace with myself, because self-acceptance, we have weaknesses. No one is perfect. Okay? Sorry if I spit. No one is perfect. But I'm willing to say, hey, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to embrace these things of who I am, because it makes you who you are. The opinions and thoughts of other people, or they don't matter. Okay? And when people make us feel a certain kind of way, no one can make you feel a certain kind of way unless you allow them to. Let me tell you guys something, what happened yesterday. My friend, I didn't want to talk to her because I had blamed her for, I'm just going to say it. I did blame her because I had a conversation with the person that I had mentioned in my last video. And I had talked about, we had got into an argument, and we said things to each other that was very disrespectful. And she told me that, my friend had begged her to let me stay, and how, I wasn't going to have a place to go and all these things, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. And so I didn't talk to my friend for a minute because I felt like, oh, why would you say that? But she sent me the messages. And then I had to think to myself, I had to tell her I do apologize, because this is a friend of mine who I do consider a best friend, because she actually has been there for me throughout any situation that I've gone through. And she's been there to help me get through it. And emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and yes, financially. And I didn't really even have to ask her. She would just do it. And it's not something that I would expect from her, is not what I'm saying. But because of that, I wanted to give back to her. And, I don't really recognize when people are trying to be very good friends to me, or like try to love me, because I have held on to so much. I don't trust no one, the negative perceptions of people and the negative perception of myself, of not feeling like I'm worthy or deserving. And so, yesterday she felt a certain kind of way, because she was like, why aren't you talking to me? Even though I didn't want to talk to anybody, because I didn't trust anyone after the situation I had gone through. And I told her, I apologized to her, because it was wrong of me to make her feel a certain way because of how I was feeling about myself and what had occurred and happened throughout the situation. So we are on good terms. Everything's fine. She had blocked me, but she ended up calling me. We ended up talking about it. And, I haven't, sometimes I'll allow myself to talk to people or give myself to people, but I've realized that I need time and healing for myself in order to really truly grow, because I have always felt that I've needed someone to be there for me, or I needed someone to catch me, or and I'm not saying like me, I'm gonna be honest, I'm very independent. I like to do things my way and get things done the way I want it to get done. Like, I give me the resources and I'll take the rest. But sometimes we all need help. But I feel like I've been that person to really feel like I need that, like I've needed that codependency, and I'm breaking that cycle now. I don't want it. I'm not going to be codependent. I'm not going to put any person above me, or put anyone on a pedestal, or feel need to always have to talk to people. Or sometimes it's just good to just be alone and be by yourself. It feels so good at the fact that I have not been on my phone like that. If I'm on my phone, I'm either posting videos, or I'm going to be posting reels and doing, things that are going to be like the topic of my YouTube channel. But other than that, I'm not really going to be on my phone to where I feel like need to talk to people. And I reached out and talked to a few people, but I still feel that need to be by myself at this time. And yesterday I was able to, going back to the topic, I was able to identify the circumstances at hand at that moment, because she reached out to the person and told her, like, I don't know what y'all trying to do, like, why are y'all still communicating, whatever. Those are just old circumstances to me. So I looked at those circumstances, and for a moment I felt a certain type of way, but I said, you know what, let me self-regulate my emotions and let me apologize and say, hey, you're not to blame for this situation. And we ended up talking it out, and it felt good because I ignored those circumstances that were at that moment, like at hand, and I seen them, and I was just like, I'm not going to pay attention to them. Because the whole thing is, when we give so much power to something, the only way you give power to something is when you hold on to it, and you hold on to the negative things about that situation that happened and that occurred in your life. And you can't hold on to those things. You have to be able to let go, even if that means you have to do meditation, whatever it requires, but you need to let it go. Because I told myself, I want to be happy. I can find happiness within myself. I even freestyled today and did like a bit of a freestyle. I haven't even done, I have a few songs that I've done with my roommate, and I have a song that I wrote that was called Lost Out on Love, about the first girl that I actually, well, she wasn't the first girl I dated, but the first girl that I thought I was in love with, but technically I wasn't really in love. So anyway, I did that, and I was like lost out on love, and I was freestyling, and I was just, like, I was just getting into it, and I was just like, it's time for me to elevate my mind and get to the next step, because people trying to knock me off my, whatever. But I'm nervous a little bit in front of camera. But anyway, you feel me? But I was freestyling and just enjoying myself. And me, I don't really freestyle like that, because I was like, I'm not that good. But for some reason, like lately, I feel like so much stuff has been coming to my mind, so much like things that I know that I can do and full potential. Like, I'm really finna really put myself to the test, you feel me? And really trust in myself. And I told myself, I'm not worried about the things that I lack right now, because I'm creating the story. The story is getting created. And the reason I'm talking about self-acceptance, and I wrote this because this is powerful. You have to accept yourself when it comes to manifesting. Self-acceptance. Now, the reason I want to say self-acceptance is important, because when you accept yourself, you don't need the acceptance, you don't need the validation from friends, and you don't need it from your significant other. All you need it is from yourself. Whether or not you have good or bad qualities, we all do. But at the end of the day, it's accepting those good and bad qualities. We have to be able to accept. We can't say I accept the good, but I don't accept the bad. No, you gotta accept both, baby. You got to accept both. So, it's like I've been feeling really good lately, and I've been, like I said, y'all, let me tell y'all on a side note, I made these bomb ass corn tortilla, these bomb ass breakfast tacos, right? Spinach in them. I love me some spinach. If you know me, you know your girl love a spinach. Put the spinach in it, no cheese. We didn't have no cheese, but spinach, eggs, had onion in there, put, a little bit of seasoning, something in there. And then I made a weird thing, I needed some more protein. So for me, I was like, okay, I need some meat, and I'm not going vegan. No offense to vegans or vegetarians, but I like meat. I really do. And I said, let me just cut up some hot dogs. And I put it in there, put some pasta. It was actually really good. It was a great breakfast, but I'm still full. But anyway, I don't know, like me, I just felt like, like most of the time when I would have need, I would always have to have my phone on me or something. And I told myself, I don't need anyone to make me happy, and I don't need anyone to accept me, because I am accepting myself. I am accepting every part of me, whether it's good, bad, ugly, worse. I am accepting all of me, because if I don't accept me, then how are you going to accept me? How is the next person going to accept you if you don't accept you? How? How is that even possible? It's not. Because everything that we are creating, everything that we want, everything that we desire in this world, it's ours. It's ours. And we put this, we put ourselves at this stagnant point and position in our lives where we allow the things and the situations and people in our lives to make us feel as if though, oh, you can't have that. or you're not good enough for that. But that's not true. It's not. And I had to tell myself, I accept you, Alize. I accept you for the good, the bad, the ugly, and the worst. Because at the end of the day, I don't need acceptance from the outside world. I need acceptance and validation from you. You are important. I tell myself that every day. I look in the mirror and tell myself, I am important. I am a priority. I am loving myself. I am believing in myself. I am going to set the freaking standard high for myself. The expectations high for myself. Because that's what I need to do. That's what we all need to do. It's not easy. It's not going to happen overnight. But when you put in the work, and when you decide that you are amazing and you can be anything and do anything that you want to do, don't look at what you're lacking. Don't worry about if people are laughing at you because you don't have this and you don't have X, Y, and Z. Those people are laughing, but they gonna later on be the same people that's gonna be knocking at your door talking about, how did you do it, brother? How'd you do it, sister? How'd you do it? Because I need your help. How did you do it? I decided to accept every part of me and know that I'm going to make mistakes. There's going to be times in my life that things are not going to, they're not going to go my way. Sometimes I'm going to feel like it's not working out. But you know what? It is working out. It's always going to work out because there's always a way, and there's a light at the end of that tunnel. Now, I hope I wasn't all over the place with this video, but I do want you guys to know that it revolves around self-love at the end of the day. When you are manifesting, remember that self-acceptance is important, especially when you're manifesting specific people, a specific person. You can, and also, side note, you can manifest as many people as you want. Don't put a limit, baby. Okay. What? Don't put a limit, okay? But, it's key because how do you expect that specific person to accept you when you don't even accept you? You have to be willing to accept all the good and bad qualities of who you are and accept it and be effing unapologetic about it and say, this is who I am and I love who I am and I know that I'm not perfect, but that's what makes me me. There are imperfections about myself that makes me Alize. Okay, there are things that I still have to work on, of course. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to stop changing. But at the end of the day, baby, remember that I still accept me and I don't need you to accept me. And girl, honey, boo boo, child, I don't need you in my life to feel good because you are not, I don't need you. I'm not depending on you, baby. I depend on me. Self-acceptance. Peace.